Hello, my name is Jennifer, and I would like to tell you about the time my sister abandoned me when I needed her most. My sister Nia and I grew up in an unusual situation. Our father left when I was young, too young to remember his face, and our mother hated him for it. She drank all the time and would always complain about how terrible he was. The worst part about it was what happened after. She would get drunk, yelling and screaming at us, blaming us for him leaving, and blaming us for all of her problems. I was a terrified 4-year-old hiding behind the leg of my 10-year-old big sister as she took all of our mother's rage. It didn't matter if it was day or night. Our mom would find a way to let us know how disappointed she was. I remember waking up many times in the middle of the night to our mom bursting into our room, drunk and yelling. When she would finally stumble out of our bedroom to sleep off the alcohol, I would be shaking in my bed, too scared to go back to sleep. Not knowing what else to do, I would sneak into my sister's bed, sometimes crying, as she held me until I fell asleep. This went on for years until Nia had enough. When I turned 8 and Nia was 14, she started to stand up to our mother more. Now, whenever our mother would go on one of her rampages, Nia would stand up to her and call her out. This didn't sit well with our mother, of course. She didn't like the fact that Nia wasn't falling in line. So no matter what Nia did, she would always be punished. If she were late coming home from school, she would be sent to our room for the rest of the day. Even if she took too long to eat her meals, our mom would take her plate and throw the rest of her food in the trash. She endured this until she turned 16. Their arguments continued to grow over time. Our mom tried to punish us for our dad's mistakes, and Nia was continuously standing in her way. Just when I began to think that everything would be okay in our house, I woke up one morning and Nia was gone. The only thing she left behind was a note taped to the bedroom door. Jenny, I'm sorry that I have to leave, but it's for the best. With me gone, I'm sure your life will be better. I can't tell you why I have to leave, but please know that I love you very much. That morning, I cried for what felt like hours. How could Nia leave me like that? What would I do without her? And where did she go? These thoughts kept running through my head as the tears continued to fall down my cheeks. However, as the days went on, I realized something had changed. My mom was the same mean spirited person who insulted me for no reason, but now it was less often. When I would pass her around the house, I would prepare myself to be yelled at for something that I didn't do. However, now she would just brush past me like I wasn't even there. As I got older and started making new friends, I spent more time away from the house. By the time I hit my mid teens, my mom had thoroughly checked out. It was like she was overjoyed to be finally done with the burden of children. High school was great. I had many friends, most of which I made while running on the track team. I also bonded with my high school guidance counselor. She was a great woman who knew about my home life and decided to look out for me, even helped me apply to colleges. By the time I graduated, I had many acceptance letters from different colleges and was eager to begin my life. My first semester of college was amazing. My roommate and I became quick friends and did everything together. She would help me with my assignments, and I would help her with hers. She was a second-year student, so she would show me around the campus whenever I was confused. One of the places she took me was the library. It's one of the most important places on campus, or so she said. Turns out she was right. By the time my first semester ended, I was spending most of my time in the library. I loved how quiet it could be and how easy it was for me to focus there. However, when my second semester came around, my sanctuary became a war zone. At the beginning of my second semester, I went inside the library to check out books I would need for my new classes. I stood at the front desk, waiting for the librarian to bring out my books, when I saw someone in the back stacking books onto the shelf. I thought it must be an upperclassman. They were turned away from me, but they looked familiar. I didn't remember seeing any of them in my classes, so I shrugged it off. Later that week, I went back to the library to return a book, but the librarian wasn't there. I still wanted to check out some more books, so I decided to wait for them while looking around. It seemed like I was the only one in the library at the time. That was until I heard the shuffling of books. My curiosity led me deeper into the library, where I saw the same person I did before putting up more books on the shelves. She didn't seem to notice me at first until I called out to her. When she turned around, my jaw almost hit the floor. My sister was looking me right in the eye with a smile on her face. She didn't seem shocked to me, but I was so shocked that all I could do was stare. So she broke the silence. "Hi, Jenny. It's been a while, huh?" Those words brought me out of my shock. I repeated them over and over in my head. That's all she had to say to me after what she did? "Are you kidding me?" I shouted without even knowing, and she visibly flinched. Did she not even care how I felt when she abandoned me? Without giving her a second glance, I turned and walked away. I didn't want to go to the library anymore after that. It was no longer a place that I felt comfortable, and it made me sad. However, my sister had other plans. One day, there was a knock on my door, and when I opened it, there stood my sister. "What do you want?" This was just like her, bold and always charging headfirst into a situation. She told me that she wanted to talk and explain her side of the story. I was still angry at her, but I decided to hear her out. She came in, sat down, and started to tell me about what happened when she was 16. She told me how Mom was beginning to get out of hand. She started drinking more, breaking things, and she made horrifying statements. Stuff like how she would get rid of Nia one way or another, and how I would soon follow. So, when our mom started to yell at me, Nia would intervene because she was scared of what could happen. However, this only made our mom even madder. Mom loves being in control, and when Nia got in her way, she would act out more. But Nia wouldn't back down. Mom became unhinged and made Nia an ultimatum. If Nia didn't leave, she would do horrible things to me and blame Nia for it. She also threatened her to hurt me if she told anyone. Nia was 16, scared, and didn't know what else to do. So she left. Her friend worked part-time at the local library and got her a job there. She worked there for years, becoming a full-time employee. But when she heard about my college needing an assistant librarian, she applied and got the job to be close to me. Nia paused her story and reached into her purse to pull out her phone. When she handed it to me, my heart skipped a beat. There were pictures of Nia at the boutique paying for my prom dress, standing in the back row of my graduation, and even a photo of her with my guidance counselor. She told me how she never left my side, even though I didn't know she was there. She told me how she asked Mrs. Williams to look after me in high school, how she heard I was having trouble paying for my prom dress, and how she was so proud of me when she saw me walk across the stage. By the time she was done talking, I was in tears. I hated her for so long, but she was always there for me. All I could do was hug her at that moment, hoping that she knew how grateful I was to have her as a sister. How would you describe your relationship with your sister, if you have one? What would you do if you were in Jennifer's shoes? Share your thoughts in the comment section below, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe